All right, guys, we're back with another one. This is for all my viewers that like to go over the new set before it comes out. I think we go to PBM, I'm pretty sure tomorrow, although I have heard mixed opinions on that. This is coming straight from the TFT at Riot website, so it's going to be running over our overview. I did this last set as well, something I'm trying to do just to be more engaging and, go through the stuff ahead of time and kind of get my head around it. So yeah, let's jump into it. So right off the bat, they're giving us our little spiel about the next upcoming set with the magic welders, enchanters, etc. Gather and improve their mastery over various spellcrafts, so on and so forth. And it says, let's open up our portal to our first trait. So right here we have portal. It's going to be our first 10 trait. So we got 3, 6, 8, and 10 benefits. It's kind of interesting. 3, 6, 8, 10. That seems really weird. It sounds weird in my head. 3, 6, 8, 10. Anyways. So we got Jace, which is a 1 gold shapeshifter. We had Zoe, which is witchcraft scholar. Shapeshifters have been around in previous sets. I think Jace was like, if he was in the back line, he was like ranged before, and if he was in the front line, he was melee. That was like his whole shapeshift kind of thing. Galio's good to see Galio back. I'm a big fan of Galio's. 2 gold though, so we're going down with our Galio. But Vanguards, that's gonna be your tank class, just like in previous sets. Vanguards are just your beefy front lines. Caston's a 2 gold multi-striker, so Caston's probably going to be pretty savage. That's going to be a good 2 gold reroll, I imagine. Ezreal, 3 gold blaster. Ezreal is very common in every set. Blaster, he's been, like, I think this Blasters existed in previous set as well. Rise is a 4 gold scholar, so scholar, I'm assuming, is going to be your casters, kind of like right now we have invokers. I'm assuming that'd be your scholar, or it's going to be our current version of arcanists. Tark is our bastion, which is also a tank one. I think armors were like, I think Vanguard was like HP or armor. And then Bastion was, they're both tanks. I forget what his stats were. If they follow the same trend in previous sets, they're slightly different. They're both tank classes usually though. Nora and Yummy, 5 gold, best friends, mage. So that's going to be a double unit, I guess. That's our 5 cost for this portal trait. And they're best friends / mages. So mages might be our current arcanists. So we're going to open a portal to unleash a disruptive debris, which is helpful antics every few seconds. The contents become more powerful based on the portal star level. Interesting. So that's kind of like our Storyweavers right now. The more Storyweaver 3 costs we have, the stronger Kale becomes. So contents include Ziggs Bomb, portal snaps, snacks, temporary items, and even the occasional lost Krug. Interesting. So yeah, the more star power you have in this, just like our current Storyweavers, I think that's when the portals is going to pop off. So you're going to be aiming to 3-star these units. Very interesting. Portal's a perfect vertical to pop into. Play it with Fast 8 strategy to field all the realm travelers, or find the Deja Vu hero augment that will make Gal your carry. Deja Vu hero augment. Man, that's probably going to be a blast to one of the previous sets. Interesting. I'm curious to see what that is. Otherwise melee AP tank range, pumping AP per stack and increasing damage at the cost of its utility. Sound familiar? Sure does. Oh no, wait. Deja Vu hero augment that will make Gal your carry, giving this otherwise melee AP tank range, ramping attack power per attack, and increased damage at the cost of its utility. Ramping attack speed and AP per attack, ramping AP, and tank range. Yeah, it's kind of like Shen's hero augment for the range, and we're getting AP per stack instead of like, I don't know, that's interesting. The trade is capped out by 2 AP carries, Rise, Nora, and Yumi. Rise, I'm assuming because he's in I'm assuming because of this right here, the portal, we're gonna get the Rise where he opens up portals. That was, I think, in set 8 or 9. You'd open it, there's like 16 different varieties of rides you could get, and each one of them did their own thing. One would put like a tree in the middle, the other would open up portals, throw like what looked like battle axes out at people. Nora Yummy launch magical swirly ball, bounce faster if cast quickly. Read activate mage. With the mage trait active, Nora and Yumi can even hit more enemies. Be sure to add just one more mage alongside Galio to our cat, Toady, and Yordle. Okay, so we're gonna see right here. So we have in the back, we have Galio. That looks like Zoe. Rise is here. That's probably our 2 new units. Yeah, that's her right there. Okay, so the portal comes out with the active trade. It's throwing out bonuses. There's Rise's portals I told you about before. And that's pretty satisfying. So Rise does do the thing where he opens portals up behind him again, so that's kind of cool to see they brought that back. So our dragon traits are back. This has existed before. We're going to have Nomzi, the 1 gold hunter, Shyvana shapeshifter, perfect, and Smolder. Okay. Smolder's, I guess, new to this set. That's kind of cool. I don't think we've seen Smolder before. If you're a fan of Darken, back in Retirement Reforged, we've got another small splash trait with a very adorable twist. When fielding 2 dragons, their attacks abilities burn and wound their targets for 5 seconds. As a reminder, burn means they deal a bit of the bad guys' total health as true damage. Okay, so this is like a free Sunfire. And I'm assuming like once they probably get like a dragon transform fades or something. So when you manage to field all 3 dragons, oh there we go. When you manage to field all 3 dragons, their power of their friendship upgrades all dragons' abilities. Okay, so that's kind of cool. Not only do you get like a free burn, you can cut these into a comp. They can just be like an add-in. If you get all 3, you're now getting like increased ability damage, which is kind of cool. Splash 2 dragons injure in late game when you can't find another source of healing cut wound. Yeah, exactly. Or store up Nomzi, whose hunter trait grants her extra AD and even more after the first takedown in combat. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about the rest of them. Blast trait, who you can cut in. Okay, so we basic dragon trait. Let's see what they do. Oh, we got another flyer. Man. That's pretty cool, though. Okay, so they did have a flyer. I think it was in like one of the set revivals. They even had it. It was Arion Sol. It reminds me of like the old Protoss ship from StarCraft. That would just like shoot all his abilities. That's what this who's that? Nomzi, Shyvana, and Smolder. I think that's Smolder. It's definitely not Shyvana. So Smolder is gonna be flying around and doing abilities. The frustrating thing with that is like it gets close to you, hit a couple like attack hits on it, and then it ranges itself away from your front line and your back line. So it's kind of like weaving in and out of combat. It's a little bit tilting, but it should be fun. Witchcraft, so we're gonna get Poppy. Poppy doesn't really sound like it's a witchcraft unit, but Witchcraft, Zoe, which is gonna be Portal / Scholar. Or no, Poppy's Bastion, sorry. He just fits with the Witchcraft category. Zoe is Portal, Scholar, Cassiopeia, Nico 2 gold, Fiora 4 gold. Oh, we get Fiora back. And Morgana 5 gold Bat Queen. Ooh. When stricken by these wicked champions, enemies sicken, losing max HP at 2. So if you have 2 of them out, they're going to lose their max HP. That's kind of cool. Witchcraft, healing the lowest enemy witch damage taken. Sorry, healing the lowest health witch for damage taken. So we're going to be healing ourselves at 4. Becoming frail, taking bonus true damage from witches at 6. So we're going to be putting a debuff, I'm assuming, on them. Yeah, we're going to make them frail, taking bonus true damage from witches. So our witches will actually do more damage to them. And finally transform into a frog and becoming stunned, with all other curse effects increasing in strength. Okay, so we're just going to pretty much turn people into frogs and just pummel them. While getting to Witchcraft 8 will take 2 craftable emblems. Running a reroll Witchcraft comp is also an option. That's so this reminds me of set 10. There was at the very beginning there was country. You could not craft country, and you had to get 8 country units out to get the biggest benefit, right? Where you got the biggest hecarim you could get. And you couldn't craft it, so you had to get like really crazy RNG. You'd have to get a spat, or you'd have to get like an augment for it. Then you'd have to find a random emblem on a carousel. So what I would do is I would be like, well, first time I got country, I built 2 emblems because I was just picking up spatulas, building a random emblem, throwing it onto a board with Pandoras, and forcing those to reroll into country. That's how I hit my first country. They eventually made it craftable later, but yeah, so this is going to be probably a lot harder to hit, but should be pretty fun to play. Is this Witchcraft right here? Let's check them out. So we got Morgana in the back, the Bat Queen. Poppy's jumping again, very cool. Neat, I like that. Honeymancy, Blitzcrank, 1 gold, Ziggs, 1 gold, Kog'Maw, 2 gold, Nunu William, 2 gold, Liger, 3 gold. Interesting. Very low cost units there to roll into a unit or start into a board. I'm buzzed with excitement about this one. Honeymancer summons a swarm of bees, each dealing a small portion of their damage dealt, and even smaller portion of damage taken, as magic damage every 3 seconds. If a Honeymancer falls, and one of their loyal bees will beeline to another Honeymancer and stick around for the rest of the battle. So this is also a very, like, it's a spin on a trait that existed. I think it was even in the set revival. I think you can actually get it in the current set's party theme they have right now, where I think it was, I forget what it's called. I did a video on it. It used to be like these little drones that would fly over your shoulders and they'd shoot missiles. And once one of your units died, those drones would go to another unit and be with them. And eventually your last unit up would have like 6 drones all like firing at the same time with your unit. This is kind of a spin on that, so it's good to see they're doing something like that again. If you don't think it's the bee's knees, Viger will have you belated. With Viger's ability, King Bee's Judgment, he will gain ability power for every charm purchased. That's neat. So the charms mechanic, we've already talked about that in my previous video. What's going to be happening is every time on your board, so you're going to have all your slop shots down here, your 5th one will be potentially a charm. And you can buy them. Some are free, some are 1 gold, some are 3 gold. So the more charms you buy throughout a game, Vigar will get ability power stacking, which is pretty nuts. So handy spammable single target damage ability. Oh yes. Oh yeah, charms. We'll talk more about charms in another article. But for now, just know that they're a set mechanic that has come in the form of purchasables and consumables. Okay, so that's fun. My only downside to that is that this is something that takes up a bench slot. I'm not the biggest fan of things that take up bench slots, like Vigar's. A couple sets ago, Vigar had like a turret. He was a 5 cost unit. He had a turret that came with him, and you'd buy upgrades for the turret out of your bench slot. The only thing is, like, that's taking up space on your bench that you cannot like get units in that spot for. But it's okay. We'll see. I'm sure it's gonna be fun, regardless. So we got all our bees in the back with our little bees around them. Okay, so now we have more bees on this unit. Oh, that's kind of cool. It's like the reverse Ghostly effect. So it's like Ghostly from this set, but you already start off with buffs. It's like the absolute reverse effect of Ghostly. You start off with buffs that spread to your teammates. So Eldritch, Ash, 1 gold, Elise, 1 gold, Neela, 2 gold, Syndra, 2 gold, Mordekaiser, good to see Mordekaiser back. Nami, 4 gold, Briar, 5 gold. Briar's gonna be a 5 gold champion, eh? Interesting, 5 cost. Okay, so this is our premier summoner trait, resurrects an old god after you lose your portion of the combined health. At 3 Eldritch, your team summons a tainted golem. At 5, the dark monolith joins the fight. Their rivals stunning all adjacent enemies and their abilities in hitting nearby enemies, causing attack damage, attacks to briefly chain. The many-eyed beast 7 builds off of 5, also stunning enemies. But this beast attacks will always chain lightning to nearby enemies, and their ability splits the sky. That just sounds wild. Dealing damage to enemies near their target and boosting the beast's attack speed. Finally, there's Eldritch 10, which will call upon the Stormbringer, who will visit your board, cause enemies to briefly flee before slamming the board, stunning all enemies for 5 seconds. That is wild. So it's kind of like a souped up Dragon Lord trait, so we get to have that kind of back in our line here. No, lightning hurts and you can get struck by lightning twice. In fact, the Stormbringer could do Stormbringer could do so 30 times to you. Wow. Excuse me, losing my voice here. While the summons may be still in the moonlight, there is one 5 cost worth talking about that's hungry for some content. Briar leaps to the largest group of enemies, damaging and stunning them before entering a frenzy. With her legendary trait, Ravenous, Briar's damage increases. Bring this down here, guys. With each player health you're missing. Each round can feed her a small amount of player health. Small player health for her to permanently gain HP. Sorry guys, I'm mumbling here. I'm getting hot. And a bit of more damage as you approach 0 HP. We're at the top of the lobby. Regardless, Briar's going to eat. Sounds wild. Let's check it out. So we're at our 10 trade right now. And that's the big guy that stuns everyone for 5 seconds. Yikes. And we can clearly see that Volibear is a 4-cost champion. So Volibear comes in as a 4-cost, apparently. You get a free Volibear 4-cost. That's wild. So that's kind of like Void. Was it Void back in the day? Which trait was that? I think it might have been like the earliest Void. There used to be a trait where there's 4 units you could play, and then once you 3-star one of them, I think the most powerful one would become a 4-star unit. Or it was crazy. I forget which. I want to say it was like early Void. If you guys remember the name of that, drop a comment below. Arcanus, this should be our actual casters. Ari, Hecarim, no, I can't, that doesn't sound right. Tom Kench, no, but Tom Kench does not sound like a caster. And Xerath does though. Don't be confused with your reading. The Arcana may appear as complex signs or symbols, aka tooltips, but they really present 5 distinct yet simple strategies you can use to use the Arcana to signifier to choose from. Okay, so this is reminding me of EDM. EDM in set 10. If you guys were around for set 10, I know some of you weren't, but EDM used to have this thing where you pick this like signal fire, I guess they're calling it in this one. You put on a unit and you get increased stats for that unit. It's actually like an activation for their spell, but activate Aries or high Arcana and your team gains ability power for each 3-star champion. Nice. Hecarim grants champions holding items damage reduction and AD. Tom Kench gives your team bonus health. Oh, this is team-wide. Oh, so you can just play the 4 and cut them in, and your whole team benefits. Okay, so Tom Kench gives your team bonus health for each active trait, and Xerath allows abilities to deal bonus true damage for each charm purchased this game. So Xerath is going to be kind of like Vigar. When your Arcana emblem wearer is designated as your high Arcana, your team gains damage amplification for each fielded champion holding a spatula item. That's random. Okay. Get ready to cook. So slotting your Arcana champions and your high chosen Arcana to best fit your strategy. Okay, so they're like a cut-in comp, but they're gonna give your team-wide buffs. So kind of like Jazz. If you guys remember Jazz from set 10, oh, let's go Xerath. So I like traits like this where you can cut stuff in and it gives your whole team strength. Like you don't have to play a couple of them. Jazz was a lot like this in set 10. They gave like health and bonus damage. I'm sure you guys have seen that if you guys have played the set revival party form. You've seen Jazz. This is kind of like that. You bring a couple of them in your team, you get bonuses from it. Fairy is our 8th line, I guess. We have Lilia, Seraphine, Tristana, Katarina, Callista, Rakan, and Amelia. Okay. All you need is faith, trust, and an entire Fey army at your disposal. Fairies gain health and create special items that become stronger with your traits tiers. At 2 and 4 fairies, you'll be able to equip the Fairy Queen's Crown, which grants DA, damage amplification. At 6 fairy, you also receive Glamored Armor, which grants healing based on the Queen's damage. Interesting. As well as a bunch of defensive stats. And last, at 9 fairies, the armor and crown will become radiant. Becoming more powerful. Only fairies can wear fairy items, but a fairy emblem spatula tier can make it so anyone can sit with these queens. Okay, so it's an 8 line, but you can actually craft it to 9. So they should have put 9 in here. Like, I don't know why they just showed 8. Alright, interesting. Will become radiant, become more powerful. Only fairies can wear fairy items. But a fairy emblem spatula can make, okay, so that's cool. The Fairy Queen Crown has many units that can be crowned. My favorite, though, is Katarina and Callista. Okay, let's read through here. Running just 2. Fairies enough to complement the warrior Katarina, carry comp benefiting greatly from the additional damage amplification and Omnivamp. The warrior trait also provides multi-striker. Callista also benefits from the crown, with her multi-striker trait granting her attacks a chance to trigger 2 more times, stacking more spears from her ability. Oh, that's cool. They brought her actually right back to the way she used to be. Looking for a Glamored Armor? Look no further than Rakan or Lilia if you're rerolling more. Who love the sparkle and feel good healing of this dazzling drip. Interesting. Emilio returns as the 5 cost of the fairy trait. Welcome back, buddy. Emilio is a fairy that pulls trinkets of his bag to help allies. Oh, this reminds me of this exact thing right here with the cogwheel. This is an actual trade back in the day where if you put a single item out, it's like a bow, at the beginning of combat, it would like complete an item based on like what the bow can turn into. So you might get like a giant slayer, you might get a rage blade, and have this little half a cogwheel. It's a very busted trade. Let's see what they do though. So you obviously want melee with your attack speed, or more casts. You know, you want him to throw more items. Oh man, that looks pretty cool. Druid Wukong. Oh, that's sad. This guy's by himself. Oh wow, that feels bad. Just because Wukong doesn't benefit from a traditional power trait doesn't mean he can't be a threat. Need a frontliner in a comp that lacks it. What about a defensive item holder? Or how about a druid that can with a can-do attitude? Look no further than Wukong. Wukong gains bonus armor and MR from all sources, making him a solid item holder or solo frontliner. His ability Cyclone can have, or Cyclone has him spin, gain a shield, doing physical damage. It scales with his defenses. So I don't think by himself, this is kind of ghetto, but like, I don't think by himself he's like all that amazing. But this would be someone I could picture a lot of people cutting into another trait, like the previous trait for say fairy, right? You get a fairy crown, you throw it on your Wukong, all of a sudden he starts benefiting from all the other bonuses that those units get, right? So he's just a solo unit right now with like a much bigger kit, and he'll probably fit really well into team comps. Okay, we're not gonna watch him slowly kill somebody. You get it. He's just Wukong now, but in the next game. Sugarcraft. Okay. Sweet. AP80. So, oh, I think this is our econ. So Sugarcraft, Soraka, Rumble, Bard, Jinx, and Gwen. So let's hear it. Sweet, it's baking time. Sugar Crafters, wow, my god, that sounds so cheesy. Sugar Crafters have increased AP and AD. They collect sugar for each equipped item component after player combat. They then use this sugar to cook layers of cake. Each layer of cake increasing their bonus AP and AD. After 7 layers, their elaborate cake is cooked to convection perfection. Jeez, tongue twister. Serving out bite-sized treats each round in the form of gold and other surprises. Okay, so that is our econ. As a medium-sized trait, there's a couple ways to play Sugarcraft. There's a sweet synergy with Honeymancy rolling at level 7. Mostly for copies of Jinx, Bard, and Rumble, and Honeymancers like Kog'Maw, Nunu, and Blitzcrank. From there, you can go into a couple of directions. Opting deeper into both traits will activate Mage with Soraka, Viger, and another emblem, or another Mage. Or taking a Path of Fire, fielding Shen and Varus regardless. Honey, heat, and a whole lot of magic. Sure will bake a good cake. Oh, Lisa's back. That's a big cake, 450. So I wonder if this is like one where like once you cash it out, then the next stack of the cakes is like instead of 450 goes up to like 600, and you just keep trying to bake the biggest cakes. Or if you can like hold on to it kind of like Fortune, where you can like just like, oh, let's make the cake bigger and like give it an option just not to cash it out yet. But that's our econ, guys. Sugarcraft. I gotta say one thing. I know it's like blurry right here because the video doesn't like play too well on the YouTube, but this game looks really cosmetically appealing. All these traits I've seen right now, like these, well, the boards are okay, but like all the units I've seen look very well designed. They've came a long way in this game. Chrono has been around in other sets, but they're probably gonna put a twist on it. So you get Jax, Multi-Striker, Zillion. Oh, I'm so happy to see Zillion in a set. Vex, Karma, and Camille. This isn't the first time we've collaborated with Wild Rift to see Zoe from Ink 4 and Fables, but it has been the first time we're collaborating with him for almost an entire trade. About time, right? Honestly, I've never played Wild Rift, and I feel like I'm missing out on something here. At the start of combat, a 16-second countdown begins, and Kronos has gained 15 ability power. From here, each Chrono cast speeds up the countdown by 1 second and grants a powerful bonus when complete. Interesting. 2 Chrono, the team restores a portion of their health, and Chronos gain AP. That seems alright. At 4, all units except Chrono allies, all units except Chronos freeze for 2 seconds. Okay. I just read that backwards, but you get it. Chronos gain even more AP, and at 6, Chronos gain attack speed and health 100%, or and heal 100% health. Oh, that's kind of nice, actually. The trait will have you at the edge of your seat, waiting for the Chrono. Man, okay, my thoughts right now so far is there's so many traits that you'll be able to cut in and play around with. It seems like they have a lot more synergies. Like right now in our current set, we have a lot of linear comps where it's like you just play this, and there's not as much like mixing and matching. There's a couple like, you know, high-end costs and things like that where you get like a lot of active synergies, but there doesn't seem to be too much. You know what I mean? Like right now, it's like Reapers and Bruisers, like Lux Reroll. You got a couple synergies there. Storyweaver 7, Mythic 7. Like, it seems like we're in our current meta, we're doing a lot of linears, but this set so far seems like there's a lot of like, hey, let's see what happens if we play 2 of this, 3 of that, get our 3 Dragon Lords in here. You know, just start mixing and matching team comps. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun for the first little bit, guys. This trait the trait will have you at the edge of your seat waiting for the chrono countdown to kick in effect, hopefully change the tide of battle. While you're waiting for the chrono effect to occur, the legendary unit of the trait, Camille, has already dived into the fray. And she's a 5 gold. Okay. Hookshot, the lowest percentage health enemy within 3 hexes. Every time her current target dies on arrival, she deals damage and empowers her next attack, which will also be empowered every time she uses her ability. That's right. That's just her passive. Her ability, Temporal Anomaly, has her knockback and stun enemies adjacent to her target for 1 second, doing physical damage and creating a containment zone. In the zone, Camille gains damage reduction and AD. Man, that sounds like a crazy kit. Let's check her out. So there's our Camille up front. I mean, it's pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie. Looks all right. Pyro. Ooh, fun. Wait, Akali, 2 gold multi-striker, Shen, Nasus, and Varus. Wait. Sorry, guys. Fairy. Where are you? Eldritch. Mancy. Witchcraft. Shouldn't Smolder be in Pyro, guys? I feel kind of off with that. Sorry, I just had I had like my brain squirreled out there for a second. He should be in Pyro, right? Anyways, Pyro is a smaller trait with attack speed fantasy that hits. Okay, Pyro is a smaller trait with an attack speed fantasy that hits fast enough to ignite any enemy. Okay, the trait gives Pyro attack speed and executes low health enemies. On kill, Pyro stores a cinder that you can collect during planning. Your enemy gains a small amount of attack speed plus 1% for every 4 cinders collected. Well, that's kind of neat. At 5 Pyro, the Pyro execution threshold is higher, resulting in more Pyro kills and more cinders collect. Okay, so you're getting like in planning phase, you're gonna have a board filled with like, it's kind of like if you had like Kabuka where he drops coins. You're gonna be dropping cinders at the end of the stage. You're gonna collect all your cinders. You're gonna get attack speed for that for every 4 collected, and they're gonna have an execution kind of like our current Umbral. Kind of neat. My favorite way to play Pyros is a fast 8 comp with Hecarim's Arcana active, Varus, Tahm Kench, and Nasus are your core 4 cost to itemize, with Shen, Akali, and Briar and Hecarim. And then Rumble run out the roster. You don't have to play fast 8 here though, as rerolling at level 6 and running Akali alongside a few Eldritch units like Neela, Ashe, and Mordekaiser is incredibly effective as well. Well, thanks for ruining it for us. No, I'm joking. Next is Frost, always good. I like the Frost type comps. Twitch, Warwick, Zillion, Wei, Swain, Olaf, and Diana. Brr, it's cold in here. Frost champions freeze the first enemies to die in an allied ice. First enemies to die into allied ice soldiers. Okay, so kind of like Azir's little soldiers right now that just become target dummies. Enemies hate being cold and will prioritize attacking these soldiers within range upon retargeting. Frost champions also gain ability power and attack damage increases as you reach a higher trade breakpoints. So yeah, you're pretty much getting Azir dummies that the enemies will then prioritize. That sounds already really broken. You're gonna pretty much be killing units in here. Yeah, you're gonna be. Oh, it's just the enemy that die. Freeze the first enemies that die. It's either your first enemy or your first enemies. Like this is kind of like contradictory. If you want to build an ice soldier at 3 frost ice, you get 1 ice soldier. At 5, you'll receive 2, and at 7, 3 soldiers. Okay, I just clarified this for me. So it's depending on how many active traits you have is how many you'll freeze. So you can either get up to 3 of your first enemies you kill. That's at 9 frost, you'll be able to assemble 5 soldiers, and their explosion power will double. Trust me, the cold will bother them. Soldiers' health will increase with each stage. That's kind of neat. Ice Queen of the trait. Oh, we already know who this is. Lysandra, right? No, it's Diana. Ooh. The Ice Queen of the trait is quite the nice queen, but it doesn't mean this 5 cost won't slay her foes. Diana's ability Snowfall has her dash in to hit the most enemies and heal, so she's going to dash them like Khan does currently. After a brief delay, she'll deal magic damage to enemies within 2 hexes and create a snowfall. Every other cast that chills all enemies, reducing their attack speed, and heals all allies over 3 seconds. Oh, that's kind of nice. Excess healing becomes a shield the last 3 seconds instead. Her ability is quite spectacular too. Just look at those. The VFX sparkly enough to warm even the frostiest heart. Even this frozen heart, okay. So this is our Diana here. Jumps in. That's a lot of damage. Everyone's healing, but they got excess healing, so they got a shield. That's wild. Alright, and that's a wrap for the Magical Origins from a Magic Command set, which goes live in patch 14.15 on July 31st. It hits PBE on July 16th, late in the afternoon. So guys, it is tomorrow. Tomorrow we get to play the PBE. My thoughts on that, guys, I've said in a previous video. PBE is a complete shit show. So if you don't want to spoil the game for yourself, you want to get in when it's not chaos, wait the extra 2 weeks. I did it on every other set. PBE for me is like just a reason I can make content on it and have fun with it, but it is a nightmare. Lots of crashes. Sometimes they'll periodically just boot you out. You'll be in the middle of the video, they'll just like kick you out and then they do some like quick patch work to it. There's like items floating across the screen. It's fun, but it's also chaos because you don't get to see the end result. They're going to be changing traits and adjusting things. So what you'll actually see live will be different from the PBE. But anyways, look forward to seeing you guys out on the Rift and hopefully enjoy this content. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.